The Bible speaks of a coming time of great tribulation, a period unlike any other in human history. This will be a time of unprecedented turmoil, suffering and testing. It is a period foretold by prophets and described in vivid detail in the book of Revelation. While the thought of such a time can be unsettling, it is essential for us to understand what the Bible teaches about this coming period. The tribulation will be a time of global upheaval. Natural disasters, wars and famines will plague the earth. The very fabric of society will unravel as lawlessness and chaos spread like wildfire. It will be a time of intense darkness, both literally and figuratively, as evil seems to hold sway. Yet, even in the midst of this darkness, God's word offers a beacon of hope. The tribulation is not a time for despair, but a time for preparation. It is a call to action for believers to stand firm in their faith and to share the gospel with a world in desperate need of redemption. This time of tribulation serves as a stark reminder of the brokenness of our world and the consequences of sin. It underscores the urgency of turning to God and seeking his forgiveness and salvation. While the tribulation will be a time of great testing, it will also be a time of profound spiritual awakening for those who are seeking God. As the tribulation begins, the world will descend into a state of chaos, unlike anything we have ever witnessed. Natural disasters will escalate in frequency and intensity. Earthquakes will shake the very foundations of the earth, while tsunamis crash upon distant shores. Volcanoes, long dormant, will erupt with fiery fury. Famines will grip entire regions, leaving millions hungry and desperate. Wars and rumors of wars will dominate the headlines as nations rise against nations. Lawlessness will abound, and the love of many will grow cold. Fear will become a constant companion as the very structures of society begin to crumble. The Apostle Paul warned of this time, writing, "But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God." This vivid description paints a grim picture of the moral decay that will characterize the last days. The values that once held society together will be eroded, replaced by selfishness, greed and violence. The world will spiral further and further away from God, embracing instead a path of darkness and destruction. One of the most significant figures to emerge during the tribulation will be the Antichrist, a charismatic and deceptive leader who will rise to power, promising peace and prosperity. He will captivate the hearts and minds of many, offering false solutions to the world's problems. The Antichrist will establish a one-world government and a one-world religion, uniting people under his banner through deception and force. He will demand worship as God and will persecute those who refuse to bow down to him. The Apostle John wrote of this, saying, "Who is the liar but he who denies that Jesus is the Christ? He is Antichrist who denies the Father and the Son." This period will be marked by great spiritual deception. False prophets will arise performing signs and wonders that will deceive even the elect, if that were possible. They will preach a message of compromise and tolerance, leading many astray from the truth of God's word. The Apostle Paul warned the Thessalonians about this, saying, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." In the midst of the turmoil, persecution, and deception of the tribulation, believers in Jesus Christ will face immense pressure to compromise their faith. They will be tempted to conform to the world's ways, to embrace the false promises of the Antichrist, and to abandon the truth of God's word. Yet God's word calls us to stand firm in our faith, no matter the cost. We are to be salt and light in a world that is growing increasingly dark. We are to hold fast to the truth of the gospel and to share it boldly with those who are lost. The Apostle Peter wrote, "Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you, but rejoice to the extent that you partake of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceeding joy. Our faith will be tested in ways we may never have imagined. We may face persecution, imprisonment, or even death for our beliefs. Yet, we are to remember that our reward is not found in this life, but in the next. We are to fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, knowing that he has overcome the world.